Dozens of people working tirelessly to help us maneuver this special equipment across the great Norfolk Southern Railroad back here. It's a real delight for us to be in town here in Altoona, the very historic Altoona Juniata Shops of the former Pennsylvania Railroad. Really special to be here. I'd like to take a moment and introduce everybody on my team here, as well as our colleagues that are here helping us. And I'd like to start with Tracy Murray over here. Tracy.
Yay, Tracy.
And we have Stacy Sullivan.
Hi, Stacy.
Tracy is his nickname, we all get little radio nicknames on here. He does excellent work along with Curtis Woolers. They're both what we call mechanical car riders. And they keep the lights on. They keep that big special power car. It's right behind us. You hear that diesel engine over there rumbling in the background. That's the 2055 power car. That thing will power every car on site here. It's really quite a machine, but they care for it 24/7. That diesel engine will not shut off until it goes back home to Council Bluffs. Wow. Just to Tracy's left is Bob Smetana.
Hi, Bob.
Hello.
Bob's helping us from Cheyenne. Bob is a very capable carman, among many other hats that he wears, what's called a traveling car inspector. And we're very happy to have him with us on this crew. He helps us in a variety of different ways. Like everyone on the crew wears a lot of different hats. Back in the pump truck you see over there, that black pickup truck, tirelessly working away, is Jimmy Thompson. Wearing his trademark hat and face shield. Jimmy is an absolute soldier, and he works tirelessly all day long. We just got through regenerating our water softener plant that is run by Paul Gershio, and Paul is not visible. He's back there working on, looks like he's rolling up fire hose. On the other side of the locomotive, actually right up front here, we have Bruce Kirk. There's Bruce. He's working on various things, getting the locomotive ready. We are going to move a little bit today as we pick up those two special locomotives right in front of us. On the other side of the train, we have Brent Malota, and he's helping Bruce make things ready and get things done. Up in the cab with me, we have Ted Schulte on the other side here. He's performing our engine watchman duties. Go, Ted. And we have Cole Lewis, newest member of our crew, machinist, and Kurt Clark, more guys that just wear many different hats and do many different things, whether it's going to the grocery store, replenishing our supplies, cleaning things, fixing things, working on the locomotive, firing the locomotive, running the locomotive, it doesn't matter. All the hats are worn by everybody. And right here to my right is Austin Barker. Machinist, welder, fabricator, engineer, fireman extraordinaire. It's such a pleasure working with these fine gentlemen and ladies. And I think Lindsay did introduce herself, but she's with our Corps Comm team. And on the other side, we've got other colleagues, including our big boss, Maureen Halber. And we've got other people on the train, our commissary group. There's just lots of people out here to make this machinery work. So thank you very much for all of them. In addition to the on-site Norfolk Southern people that are here. If you haven't already, as you travel through the display area, you'll see various tins and various setups that they have set up for your enjoyment. The Norfolk Southern has worked tirelessly to make this happen. Several months ago, this site was a grove of trees and mud and a few old worn-out railroad tracks, and they turned this into a beautiful display location, and we thank them very much for that. And with that, let's get started on our first question.
Awesome. Our first question comes from our friend Jordan here, and he's wondering, what was it like running side by side with the 2102 and the 26?
Running side by side, that was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that we had on the Reading and Northern. As we put the trip together, there were some technical details that required us to minimize our footprint on certain routes. And so that was a good opportunity to travel from that part of the country, Scranton, all the way down to Reading. And what better way to do it than to utilize that great short line railroad to Reading and Northern. Anytime you have two steam locomotives under steam together, that's always special. That locomotive is a fine machine. It's very well known for how loud it is, and it's very loud. And I'll hand the microphone to the guys. I'm going to start back here with Kurt, and I'd like to have him kind of share his experiences with that. This is hard work. It's hard work, and people tell us we have the best jobs, and we really do. But working with these guys, watching Austin fire the locomotive, run the locomotive, work on things, watching Cole do the work that he does, all the work. He's working with Austin to take things apart, and anything that we need done, he does. We're watching Kurt fire the locomotive, run, work on the Caterpillar. Kurt does anything and everything. Ted, go down the list of watching these guys work. It's so enjoyable for me. Of course, looking at all the people and seeing all the fun faces and all the fun experiences we see. The little children are fascinating. They're so fun to watch. Many of them have a look of terror when they hear this locomotive. Several of them, you know, you get to see the different personality types of children. You got some little tough boys and girls that don't move a muscle. They stand right there, stoic face, and others run for the hills. It is really fun to see. But bar none, watching these guys work and being here with them is the best part for me.
Thank you. All right, our next question comes from John, and he was talking a little bit about an epic photo shoot that happened in Scranton. And he was wondering, just tell us a little bit about the Scranton stop.
While we were in Steamtown in Scranton, Pennsylvania, we parked this locomotive right next to the 4012, a locomotive that was donated along with this locomotive right around that time frame. And it was the locomotive that traveled the furthest east off the network. Other locomotives, 7 others, other than the 4014, were donated. So it was really fun for us to have that locomotive posed right next to that. And there were several opportunities to allow some special night photography where they had character actors that would set up various things, and that was fun to participate. At that time, the locomotive was not under steam. We were doing our required maintenance on it, but we did provide some compressed air to run the dynamos. That's our electrical source, so we could have the headlight on. So we were happy to work with them to make that nice. It's not every day you get to see two big boys sitting right next to each other.
All right, Donna is marveling at how much fuel you described it takes to run the big boy, and she was wondering how often do you have to refuel and how does that process work?
Well, our fuel, being that this locomotive is an oil burner, I can't even describe in words how simple it is compared to what it would be like if it burned coal. We have 2 fuel trucks with us. It's usually one of them. We'll be cycling back and forth, transporting our fuel. I don't want to really call it special fuel, but it is a select oil source that we just don't take random fuel oil. So it is an oil source that's pretty consistent for us, so we know what we have. We've got a good fuel source. We don't have to mess around with bad fuel. Years and years ago, we used to try to get different fuel, and that causes you a lot of different problems and too much heartache. For our fuel truck drivers, Greg and Dean, we call them number 1 and number 2, they're outstanding. They follow us, and we fuel every night. Later this afternoon, when the site is closed, we're going to move, as I mentioned, to pick up those 2 locomotives. So we're going to have 5 diesel locomotives with us all the way to Fostoria. And rest assured, the big boy will do most of the work. Sure, we'll use the diesels every now and then because we're running a business here. So if you don't like the sound of diesels, you're just going to have to plug your ears because they might idle a little bit. But in all seriousness, this locomotive burns a lot of fuel because we're working it hard. When we get here every night, you'll see how dirty it is. And you'll see the sand and the grit and the oil. This machine is a great, fabulous machine, and it's burning the oil going down the track, roughly 15 gallons of oil every mile. When we're going up our Horseshoe curve, that number is probably going to bump to 25 plus. So this is a big machine. To produce that power, we got to generate the heat, and that's what we do. We burn that special oil.
Lance would like to know, how long does it take to start the big boy, and what are the steps in that process?
Let's start with, hey Kurt, would you mind walking us through, and then we'll have Austin finish that one out. How long does it take to start this, and what do we do?
It takes about 3 days from complete cold. We put hot water in it. We want all those tubes and flues in the boiler and all that metal and steel to suck that heat in really gradually, so that it makes it a lot easier. It's nicer on your equipment, it's nicer on your welds and your tubes and your flues. And then eventually we start adding steam, and we pump on it for steam for a day and a half, sometimes 2 days depending on our timeline, and we let it warm up real gradual. And then when we got some pressure on the boiler, then we light it off around the third day and put a fire in it, bring it up to full operating pressure.
Yeah, Kurt pretty much covered it. If you're talking about day-to-day operations, when we show up in the morning, there's usually about 150 pounds on the engine.
Takes place to make all of the steam trips work. We have all the operating details that we work out with the operating department. We've got bridges and clearances. So the bridge structures are evaluated because this locomotive, as I think a lot of people know how heavy this is, 600, little over 605 or so tons. And then you've got 200 tons in the first water car, 200 tons in the second water car. Each one of those other locomotives back there is around 200 tons, a few tons here and there. So you got a lot of weight. So therefore, the railroads built the bridges very strong, designed to carry very big locomotives in the steam locomotive era, but nothing quite like this. So there's special analysis that goes in to make sure all the structures meet certain criteria, and based on that, we put the plan together. That's my responsibility. It's one of the more enjoyable aspects of that, is detailing where we're going, how we're going to get there, how long it takes at each various point. Once we have the trip put together, oftentimes there's some adjustments that we need to make, and that's why we ask that everybody stay in touch with upsteam.com, where if we have to make the schedule change, there may be an opportunity. For example, when we announce the trip that we're taking the big boy and we're traveling through these various municipalities, we don't really hear much until we depart Cheyenne. When we depart Cheyenne and the news media begins taking photographs from helicopters and talking about thousands and thousands of people, all of a sudden various mayors, city managers, police chiefs start asking us, can you stop here? Would you mind stopping there? Or hey, please stop here for a few more minutes. And then we try to evaluate those requests, make some adjustments if we can. Oftentimes I have enough time in the schedule, we can absorb whatever potential delay there may be. But if we can't, then we have to make an adjustment. We always want to be on time when we announce we're going to do something. We don't want to pull that back and say we changed our minds, never mind. We want to execute that. That's why we're kind of close about those times on the schedule. So that's kind of how it works. Lots of coordination, lots of detail, lots of approvals, because we're running on their freight network. There will be some opportunities for them to run their trains versus our train. We'll run our train with their trains. There's a lot of coordination behind the scenes. That's why we thank the Norfolk Southern so graciously to be helping us make this work. Because at the end of the day, this train needs to run on time to the extent we can make that happen. That means that they're running their freight work, coordinating with us, and we really appreciate that.
Sorry about that. Are they ever gonna release it? Are they ever gonna release it, Bill? Oh, there we go.
Awesome. Woo-hoo.
Yeah. Sorry for that, guys. Wonder what this is.
I'm an Intermodal.
What is this, sir?
How much is this? 11 days.
Uh-oh. Thank you.
28.
28 what?
28.
Oh, 28, thank you. Thank you.
About 2. It's the same when you're facing down there, having 11K cable to close this track to us. It's like oh, wait, they're putting on the help. They're here. Oh yeah, they're in and out. That's good.
No, they're still doing the helpers, I think. What the?
Yeah, they're attaching the helper.
And they're probably gonna have him wait for this, probably.
I'll look.
Yo, 1800. What is southbound? This is in CIX.
No helpers.
Okay. But they're probably gonna have him. They're probably gonna have this. They're probably gonna have him wait for this, probably. So why they cut this guy's route back to Harrisburg instead of having going to Proxim? Why they cut it back to Harrisburg?
What?
Why they cut this route to Harrisburg instead of having going to Proxim?
Because these stacks, they don't go to Proxim.
Okay.
These stacks go on a 22nd.
Okay.
Every car are going to go to something.
Yep.
Usually the power will come on that.
Great.
And then they'll add another 2 engines that are already. I know 27 is 40 long. Through the middle,
Two. It's a 2 by. I did. Actually, no, I didn't. But I did see with. Actually, no, I didn't.
I was in Florida, but I did see the So I did one more day to get my yeah, I honestly got it. Yo, go out. No, that's the worst. That was an hour. So go to the squad from the movie. Yeah, I just love that. That's fantastic. You can go right on 8th Street and sit right above. Last night, you got a bunch of work.
Hey guys, I did see 29G get to 168 cars once. I saw in the camp.
Thinking about it, but like there's only like 20 and still. I mean, I just fucking 20 out of that LA. Okay, dude, LA, not to be kind of better, honestly. Oh yeah, that was not bad. It's not the best, but it works. So. That was not bad. Who's working on TV? That's
Oopsies. Oops. Oh, sorry guys.
It's already a thing. It's
Oops.
just a
Drones.
Here, I'll show you a couple of
Oopsies.
Oh. I did 12, 18, 6, 11s. And that's all we get? No, not yet. It's coming. How do I become admin room? Well, eventually. Here's an induction. Because I looked at it. I used to have that thing. I'm not. Most of the horns are mine. Yo, who did the freaking horns for the CSX ES40 BC? Here's you should change.
It's fun having a chubby ass thing.
I forget what it's for. Oh, it's for the south dot is for 250. Not the Mac, but the SC.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get the Maverick out because the Amtrak going by. Definitely, yeah.
Yahoo! No, it's okay. I can still see Mom.
Raindrops.
Sorry. Go out, claps when we go, Mom.
I know. We have one more heritage unit, don't we?
That was them, Mom. That was them.
I thought you were supposed to have two.
Yeah, that was them. That one we just passed.
I just saw the one 1074.
Where's my phone? Oh, here it is. I just